All right. So, episode 2 of the question answering video project. That's the tentative name, which I'm sure we will improve over the next week. Hopefully, if you have any ideas for what we should call this show thing, feel free to comment below. So the second question that I thought would be perfect to answer that I get so often, people ask, how do you not get bored when you're running? How are you not bored out of your mind when you're running? So, the answer to that, in my opinion, again, this is all my view, my take on this, is it's two categories of strategies that you can use to not be bored while running. The first one is a mental category. So, few approaches to that. The first out of the mental category is actually distracting yourself from the running. So that could include music, listening to music, which a lot of people do. I used to run with audiobooks playing. I was training for a pretty big thing, and I think I listened to 3 or 4 of the Dune books. And anyone who's ever read Dune know that that's a lot of book to go through. So that definitely kept me distracted during some of the longer road runs that I did. So that's there's podcasts, there's all sorts of things you can listen to that can keep you distracted while you're running. The other option is to actually go the opposite direction and focus more on your running. So that can be heart rate training is really useful for this because you're having to keep track of where your heart rate is. So you're kind of gauging your effort level and things like that to make sure you stay within a particular heart rate zone. If you have a coach that's working with you on running form and running technique, and you know you have things that you need to improve, then you can focus on that while you're running. We could do all sorts of videos about running form and things like that, which I'm sure we'll get to. But that's another option, is actually focusing more on what you're doing in that moment, and the time can go by really quickly when you're focused on that. And then the third part of that, which kind of coincides with the distraction part, is actually thinking about life, thinking about what you want to do, where you want to be, why you're doing what you're doing, whether you like doing what you're doing. Think about your friendships, think about your family, think about relationships, think about everything that's going on in your life and sort through it, figure things out. I've always said that probably about 85% of the biggest decisions of my life I've made during a run. And that for me comes from a particular clarity that I find when I'm running. It's like almost like all the facade, the masks, everything that I have the energy to just kind of keep up or think about in other normal times is kind of gone when I'm running. I don't have the energy to have that. So kind of a lot of those curtains get pushed aside, and I'm able to see things with a lot of clarity. So think about your life, sort through it. Maybe you during a run you decide that you want to change something and you can take that step, or maybe during the run you find that you're totally cool with how things are going, and that's a good realization to have. So yeah, those are the mental parts. The other options are actually changing your environments, and this is probably my favorite thing, is exploring different places, running in new places. A lot of people, when they go for a run, they either just step out their door and run halfway down the road and then run halfway back, and that can get really boring after a while. The other thing that people do is run on the treadmill, which is just horrific and super boring. If the only running that you do is on a treadmill, then I don't blame you for thinking that it's boring. So definitely stay away from the treadmill unless, of course, it's blizzarding outside and you don't want to be running out there. I don't blame you for that. But explore different places. It's amazing what a 5, 10, 15-minute drive, where that can take you, and you can run somewhere you've never run before. You can explore a place you've never explored before. The other thing you can do, which I think is the best thing ever, is trail running. If you haven't tried trail running, that's completely just so much better than running on the road. It's first of all, the scenery is fantastic. Most trails are just amazing, and you can find places that you will never see out of a car, or even sometimes on a bike. You won't find these places, so the scenery is fantastic. You're so engaged when you're trail running. You have to be super engaged. You have to be paying so much attention to where your feet are going. You have to be completely in the moment doing your thing to get through those trails, because otherwise you could just land on your face, and that sucks. So you don't really get a chance to get bored because you're so focused and so engaged in what you're doing in the moment. So there you go. That's the physical side of it, is changing your environment, whether it's trying a new trail, whether it's just trying a new path that you've never ran on before, exploring a little bit. That makes it really much more interesting. If you're in Phoenix and you don't know what trails you can run, you got literally options in every direction. You can go north to Cave Creek Regional Park. You can go to McDowell Mountain Regional Park. You can go west to the White Tanks, the White Tank Mountains. You can go south to South Mountain or the Estrella Mountain Regional Park. You can go kind of southeast, which is the Santan Regional Park, which is fantastic. You can go east to the Superstition Mountains or to Usery Pass, Usery Mountain Regional Park. So many options, so many places to go explore. Feel free to ask if you want any specific recommendations down in the comments. I'm happy to help with any of that. But yeah, so that's how I don't get bored. I keep it interesting. I try to change it up. I try to do different things. It's easy to get bored when you just do the same path all the time. That's definitely something that's been happening to me lately. Just been kind of running out by Tempe Town Lake, which is right outside my house, pretty often, and it's starting to kind of weigh on me. It's starting to get a little repetitive. So tomorrow I'm going to go South Mountain, Desert Classic Trail. If you haven't been out there, it's super cool. I might even forego Desert Classic and head up National up to Fat Man's Pass. If you haven't been up there in South Mountain, super cool trail as well. And then hitting up Santan Regional Park on Sunday. So gotta keep it interesting, gotta keep it fun, and that's how you don't get bored. Cool. If you like the video, like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll Run Wander Wonder, and yeah, we're having fun. It's a good time. Have a good weekend, and happy running. See you out there.